It was amazing last 5 minutes of the match, and then very much post-match, it became all about Trent Alexander Arnold. That was that. Yeah. That's the story, and we're going with it. And even, I don't know if you saw it, but Sky did a montage of Jamie Carragher and Gary Neville in the gantry for the goals on the way back in from an ad break before they were in studio. And like the one where Alexander Arnold gives the ball away quite poorly, plays it into midfield, and United go on the counter-attack. You can see Carragher pointing at someone, I mean, 3 guesses, and saying, that's him. Yeah. And very much post-match, he was bringing in the Real Madrid bid for 20 million, which happened this week, and effectively was saying, that bid does not happen without the say-so of the Alexander Arnold camp. And it was just, that isn't right on Alexander Arnold's part. We'll deal with the transfer situation in a moment. What about his performance? Was he ranked terrible?
Yeah. It's the way you're getting about it. That was as bad as I think he's played. That was as poor a game as I've seen him have. He looked disinterested almost, not because of the transfer. He just didn't look like he could get into the game at all. No, you could just write it off as it's a bad game. Didn't play well, and it is what it is. I think Liverpool have been very fortunate with this transfer situation with the 3 big players, and that's so far as that it's been all nice and rosy and everybody's comfortable with the situation. I fear now he's going to be scapegoated. He's going to be the man that's going to be, that's going to be the talking point moving forward. And the other 2 are probably happy about that because they get to go about their job. Trent Alexander-Arnold is an amazing football player, probably one of the most technically gifted, aesthetically beautiful players that we've seen in a long, long time. He has an issue defending. I felt at times this year there was an improvement, but yesterday was just an absolute horror show. Now, is that because his head has been turned? Is that because there is a bid been placed? Is that because he's upset that he wants to go to Real Madrid? He wants to go now in January? We don't know. But in fairness, the guy's been brilliant this year. His numbers and in an attacking sense have been off the charts again. And he has been pretty decent. Liverpool are top of the Champions League group. They're top of the Premier League. He's had a bad game. So I think he's earned the right, or earned the get out of jail free card, to be honest. It was a poor performance from him. It still drew 2-2. And the club will obviously make a decision now, because we're not in the inside of what happened. Invariably you could say hypothetically that a bid went in a couple of days before the game. He said he wants to go. Club said you're not going, so his head's all over the place. That explains the performance that he had. Or you could say there might have been an illness in the build up to it. There might have been an injury of some description. But I think that yesterday was uncharacteristically poor of him. I'm not saying he's an amazing defender, absolutely not, and he does get caught out, but the level that he sunk to yesterday was uncharacteristic. And even for the Martinez goal, when the ball goes wide to Bruno Fernandes, there is no energy to get out and close down. He actually stops, and then Bruno trots inside, and then Bruno runs by Trent. If you watch that goal back again before he reverses it, I mean, that was in the same ballpark as the Rashford closing down clips that we used to see.
Yeah.
Where he's just like, please pass it, I don't want to close you down, please pass it, I don't want to close you down, please, oh, he's not passing it, and then the ball gets slipped in and it's like, oh no. So, that was, if you rewatch that clip, it is horrific. I mean the lack of effort, because when that ball first goes wide to Bruno, he needs to get out there quick and get his head down, stop the cross or force him backwards, but he doesn't. So it remains to be seen. But what I will say is he's been so good for Liverpool. He's been so good for the Premier League. He's been so good to watch. I think he deserves a pass on yesterday, and we'll see how he is the next game.
In terms of how the transfer negotiations are progressing or not, we're on the outside, obviously. Would you agree, though, with Carragher's argument that there's no way Real Madrid put this bid in without a thumbs up from the Alexander Arnold camp?
100%, absolutely, yeah. There is back channeling when it comes to this stuff. There is intermediaries that speak to each other. So if the 2 parties, well, I mean, they are speaking directly, but if they can't, or they feel like there's a risk, then they will be intermediaries.
And what's the logic of like a measly 20 million which is going to be refused?
That's Real Madrid being Real Madrid.
But on Alexander Arnold's part, why would he say, yeah, do that? That'd be a good idea.
No, he wouldn't have said put in a bid of 20 million. They've said, look, we want to get you in January, and he would have said, yeah, absolutely, I want to go. I'd like to go in January. So then the club go, okay, fair enough, with just an opening bid. we'll just throw in 20 million, in January. And then obviously, what Real Madrid will say, if you go in and you throw your toys out your pram and you create an uproar, and all of a sudden Liverpool will have to, you could argue that performance against Manchester United was that throwing your toys out of the pram.
Well, give them to you for 18.
Yeah. So then all of a sudden Liverpool feel like, well, we have to enter into negotiation now.
Yeah, okay.
And there's an opening bid on the table and a negotiation takes place and it might settle at 30. But, Real Madrid aren't going to come in and offer 50 million for somebody in January. No, listen, what should have happened is Trent just said, look, I'll come to you guys in the summer. You can just leave it be, please. And I'm going to focus on the season with Liverpool. Hopefully win a Champions League with Liverpool, hopefully win a Premier League with Liverpool, and then I'll go in the summer.
Yeah.
That's
the thing. They're not languishing in 13th here. I mean, they're on the cusp of an amazing season. Even if Madrid came in with 60 million and Liverpool said, well, we can't really turn this down, I'm not sure if you want to leave a team about to win a second title in 30 odd years.
Well, you could say what you want, and Liverpool fans will disagree with me here, but Real Madrid is Real Madrid. I mean, they're probably the only club in the world that nearly everybody would want to play for, right? It's whatever it is about that white shirt. And he probably feels like that it's time for a new challenge and it's time for him to move on. So it's his decision. Liverpool left the contract situation get to this point. So it's not completely Trent Alexander Arnold's fault. Liverpool could have dealt with this 18 months ago like most clubs do. So we're in this situation because of both of them. So look, I'd be desperately sad to see him go out of the Premier League. But look, Real Madrid with Dani Carvajal aging it, they're looking for a right back, and invariably when Real Madrid set their sights on somebody, it ends up happening.
Yeah.